What's up, everybody? It is a little afternoon. Of course, I always pick the hottest time of the day to work on the car, and we're working on that today. But this is more like elective surgery, so stick around and I'll show you exactly what we're working on. Pretty easy one, I think. Famous last words. Alright, so here we are at the front of my Angry Goat, and you see I got the windows down, and that's because I got this stuff about a year ago, and I've never had a set on my vehicle before. Let me show you what we're working with. Today we're going to be installing these. They're from a company called Nilight, and these are those little window vent deals you have, so you can crack your windows open in the rain, and allegedly it's supposed to help with wind noise when you have the windows all the way down too. Now I went ahead and checked out the kit because I did get this over a year ago, and I'm happy to say that it's quite complete and pretty much idiot proof. So you've got your instructions here, and inside here they give you, they call it a crowbar, I call it a trim tool, but it's enough for the job. And inside they give you, filler, 12 metal clips, which I'll show you how those work. And they were even kind enough to give you a little roll of 3M double-sided tape in case you screw up. So I went through the instructions already. Oops, just locked the door. All right, there we go. I'm gonna leave my keys right about there. All right, so you can see I went through the instructions, and I saw a how-to video online for another install just to sort of fill in the blanks in case they weren't very well worded. And I'm happy to say that my instructions match these clips with the little V's, unlike the video I saw. So I guess your mileage may vary depending on model. So what we have, since I have a 2016 crew cab, which has got the longer back doors, that's the kit I got. You get the 2 rears, 2 fronts. They're marked, so they're idiot proof, like I said earlier. And essentially, the nice thing about these, unlike the old, I think they were called GTS back in the day, was the old ones, you used to have to stick them on the outside of your paintwork or your trim, which I always thought was a bit cheap. The new ones actually tuck up underneath all this, all up in here like a lip. And the instructions said to clean it, and before I started filming I did take the liberty of taking a towel and wiping out the inside of the entire channel on all 4 doors, because you don't need to see me clean, and I just did it just enough anyway, good enough. So the first step is obviously to pull these out and inspect your parts, which I had done. I'm gonna shake this guy out. It says front left. And before we start pulling any trim off or adhesive, it's always a good practice to come over here and just kind of dry fit things to make sure that it's all gonna work. So you can already see that's in there, and then this all goes up in here underneath like that. And you may notice that this is a bit long on this side, but that's okay because these are plastic and you're supposed to bend them slightly to tuck them in. And I might even go as far as to bending them slightly and starting lower, or maybe I'll start on this side and bend that side or something. But the idea here, like the install, is you want to peel this front piece, this rear piece and that front piece, and only take off about 1 inch of each edge of the long top piece. Because what you want to do is you want to wrestle this in like so, and just get it to stick on that side and that side, without having to fight the entire length of trim across the top. So what you do is you just pull this and have a tail. Once you get this fitted up inside, you want to grab the underside and squeeze outward to make sure that you get good adhesion on the inside of the door. And then you can pull this, you know, towards the center to get the adhesive stripped free up here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to attempt to set up the camera behind me so you can see me struggle. That way you just don't see me say I'll be right back and have it done. So give me just a second, let me set up the camera. I'll try to get something for you to show you this in at least a time lapse. We'll be right back.
1 minute, 37 seconds later.
All right, so this isn't gonna be the best angle, but this is the only one I can get. I got my phone actually magnetized to my Chrysler. So anyway, like I said before, what we're gonna do is we're gonna peel off this front edge here, this rear edge here, and we're gonna wrestle her on just like so. Right, we're gonna dry fit it, and I'm gonna bend it. I'm gonna leave a tail of about 1 inch on both sides, and then once we clip it up in there, I can peel that piece off and then start working it in, holding it in place. When we get that started, this may be a little time-lapsey, and then we'll get to the clip portion. That should do it for the front. Literally that simple. So now that that's done, we'll go to the rear. We'll do that one. Fix the camera a little bit, maybe more this way. I'll get to see my rarely shown beer storage device. Here's the rear left. It's pretty easy. It's pretty obvious when you mock them up. You've got a 90 here. You've got a radius here. Which, now that I think about it, this actually harkens back to the 60s and 70s D100s. Of course, it didn't curve as much, but at least they tried, right? It's kind of like the, they call them the Hofmeister kink on BMWs. Yeah. Signature piece. All right, so before I do that, practice what I preach. We're going to dry fit this like so, right? This has got 2 big pieces, so I can tell that the double stick on this side's a bit weak. It already came off a bit. We're going to run it, see what happens. Get that. Make us a tail. Make us a tail. Here we go. And then just push into place. Just like that. Nothing to it. All right, stick around. Actually, just wait there. All right, so the next part involves these little clips. They give you 12, which means you get 3 per window. And what you want is, according to the instructions, you Let me go verify. Okay. You want the V'd portion to be on the inside. So it's gonna go in like this. Clip it up in there. Now, they suggest that you do it on the corners and then somewhere in the middle. Now, the video I watched, the guy didn't have the V's, so he said that the clips didn't matter each way. So that's up to you if you don't have the little V's. Angles look the same, so you probably get away with that. The V's are just to bite into the door. In his video, he put it somewhere about 3/4 of the way up the side here, and that's no bueno, because his window would actually touch the clip, and you don't want that. You want this to be as least invasive as possible. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start here at the crook of the door from the vertical. Put one there, one about here, and then the last one about here. We can do it on the inside here because the window's tapered. And it's just this, adhesive fail. Well, glad you got to see that happen. I don't think I pushed up on it hard enough. Wouldn't be one of my videos without a blooper. I'll tell you what, the glue does hold. I'm gonna put the clips in the back first. We're gonna try that. Remember, these on the inside. You know what? They gave us extra tape. I'm going to take this one off. We're going to do it over. We'll be right back.
12 seconds later.
Alright, just to show you that I wasn't screwing around, I went ahead and I pulled off this strip that was already on there. They do provide you, the oh shit tape in case you mess up, or in my case, because I let it sit in the box for a year and the adhesive got a little crap. Anyway, I'm going to cut a strip that fits here and one across the top, and I'll meet you back at the trunk of the Chrysler to reinstall. And just, for transparency, I did go ahead and install the clips that I had out in the front door. So I got one there, one up there, and one right there. And I just used that little orange tool and pushed them all the way in. So you got to see that. Now in this case, I don't have the mount. So basically all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna peel one side, cut a length, stick it. Don't peel the back side, obviously. And then run another one here, give myself a tail, and I'll meet you back. This was supposed to be easy. It never is.
2 very boring minutes later.
All right, re-adhesived. Gave myself the curve and everything. All right, I went ahead and grabbed 3 extra clips. They're on the inside here. So as soon as I get this up, I'm gonna put the clips straight in. That way we don't have any chance of it falling off. And that'll finish this whole side. Then we'll do a window up and down to make sure we're not touching anything weird. Because if it touches the clips, you still have time to pull them out and readjust them and move them somewhere else. There's a little hook on either side of the clip, so that tool that they give you can just grab it and yank it out. There's really nothing to this thing. That is if you actually put them on right after you bought them and not let them sit in the box for a year. Okay, now I need a tail. I should also mention that it's about 1,000% humidity in South Texas today. That's not helping this adhesive at all. There we go. Tails. pushing up and inward to make sure this has the best chance of sticking. And then I'm going to start with the first clip right in the middle and just push around home. And work it in there. Grab the next one. Oop. I got stuck to my finger now. Okay. Put this one right on the curve. Grab the tool and finish it off. Alright, so this clip's not in a good spot. So we're going to put it on this edge here. Yeah. Good. Good. Feels okay. That's the rear one. Tap test. Ain't going nowhere.
Where you going? Nowhere.
So the next thing I want to do is I'm going to roll up the windows, make sure they're not touching the clips. When I get to my keys, we'll do that next. Proof is in the pudding time. Sounds good. Nothing hit. I thought it did at first, but it seems to be okay. Now, the instructions also say, do not roll down your windows for the first 72 hours to let all the adhesive cure. So, that window's staying right where it is. Let's try the back one. Let's turn the window lock off. Alright, looks like we got it in there. Pretty subtle look. Kind of works with my tint already. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and do the other side. You don't really need to see it, it's the same as this. But as far as Samuel L's go, one Samuel L job, nothing to it. Didn't even bring out a beer. Just take your time, make sure your whole prep surface is clean. Just rub it down with a towel, because you're gonna have that felt liner and whatever. If you like these, I'll leave you a link in the description below. I forgot what they originally cost, but they're pretty darn affordable. And, you know, it kind of churches it up a little bit, and if I ever want to crack the window open on a rainy day, don't know why, I don't smoke anymore, but I've got the option. The big test for me is every mod I do to this truck, it has to survive a robotic car wash, because I don't do this the old-fashioned way. Not anymore, especially up there, because I can't get up there without a ladder. So I use the robotic car wash. Pay $20 a month. Anyway, this was Pwnery Tinkers Nilight window vents, shades, however you want to call them, rain guards, and yeah, pretty easy job. Anyway, if you're new to my channel, welcome. If you're a regular here, welcome back. Either way, check out my other playlist and see if my other interests may be of interest to you. You actually missed out on 2 videos because I just needed to get the work done, but they weren't that bad, so we won't even talk about those. Anyway, the next thing we're gonna do, I'm still looking for a way to mount it. Maybe I can get you in here real quick and I'll show you what we're possibly going to install next. I like to call them my anti-tailgating device, or my get the hell out of the way device. But Yeah. Yeah. Train horns. Used to do tugboat horns, but they always broke the headlights. Anyway, thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one. Oh, I'll give you a little before and after shot as this rolls out. Later.
Well, the boy does have good hands.
Good hand. Bad taste in cars. Mother